Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial for the making ephemera for the Fairy Magic journals. I am using two kits from my Porch prints. One is the Fairy Tea Party and the other is Fairy Magic, and everything will be linked in the supply list. My Porch prints kits will be linked in the supply list. There will also be another full list of supplies over on my blog, and a link to the blog can be found in the video description box below. So I watched several times, probably a half a dozen times, a video by Create with Scrimping Mommy, and a very popular YouTuber, very fun to listen to, very fun to follow. Like, I was watching her on TV and I actually had to call my husband in so that he could hear her laugh, because it makes me giggle, and I just think that's such a beautiful thing that we can laugh together, and she laughs at herself, and I kind of think like we're kindred souls in that regard. But she made what she called a Miura fold. I think that's how you say it, a fold insert. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm not doing it exactly like she did, because basically what she did is she added an addition. I added things that she didn't add, but she added something that I didn't, which was she added a piece of paper down here so that this was kind of more decorative, and it had another piece that came out, and then it created a pocket over here. I was able to create a pocket my own way. So there's a pocket on the back. I added a pocket on the front. I added a pocket here. I ran out of paper, so I didn't add a piece of paper here, but I will be in the video today. So it would have a front pocket. It would have writing space. No, I guess I wrote writing space, but that's going to actually be a pocket too, a pocket here, and then the entire back, other than this, will be writing space. So I'm not going to glue it shut or anything. I like the way it works, and it's just a fantastic fold. There we go. So we're going to do it together. It's a little challenging because I had a hard time with the scoring, because I can't get the angles into my scoreboard. But because I purchased a new cutter scoreboard, I mainly purchased it because of the size and that it had both blades. So it has the cutting blade and it has the scoring blade. I wanted it for the scoring blade, but because of the measurements of this project, it's really hard for me to get it in there. So I didn't, we might use it if we can, but we'll have to see. I need to grab my ink here. Sorry guys. So I hope you guys are all doing okay. I will be making more of these off camera because I'm doing two journals, and I think two for each journal. And so I'll do those off camera, and then I'll post that in my photos at the end of the video, as well as all over social media. This also has the feature of having a belly band, which is going to hold it closed so that it can go inside of a pocket or whatever. So it gets caught on here, so we'll go through that. I'm not going to belabor that point. I've got my I'm going to hopefully use this cutter just to avoid bringing in my precision cutter on camera, because it's a monster. I pulled just some ephemera pieces from the kit. I'm not going to decorate these up. You know my style. I will put tabs on them, lace on them probably, but I won't be doing that on camera. I just wanted to show you what kinds of things you could put in the pockets that we are working with here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need two pieces of these are a standard letter size digital. So by the time I cut the white off and such, I'm not sure exactly what the measurements are. Let me see. This is 10 and 5/8 by the time I cut everything, because I put a digital on the back and it doesn't quite square up with the print on the front, so I end up having to cut off an extra bit off of one end. So that's probably why they're a little bit smaller than it would be if you were just dealing with a standard piece of paper. You can make it whatever size you want, and I do encourage you to go over and check out Amanda over there at Scrimping Mommy, because she is the one that did this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it, but definitely go check her out. because she did a really good job. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring in this scoreboard. So it doesn't matter what the height is on these. It can be as however high you want, because it's going to fold height-wise like this. So as you can see, I did cut mine down. I believe I cut mine down to 8 inches because my journals, I don't want anything taller than 8 inches in my journals. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off a little bit here just to get to where I want it to be. So give me just a quick second to do that. Oh, wait a minute. It is already. What? What the what? No, not quite. This, I'm having trouble getting used to this scoreboard, so I'm learning, but it's a challenge. So I'm just gonna do that and then just trim off that extra little bit. Not much of a sliver there. Set that out of the way. So now we can use the scoreboard for this. So I'm gonna move my camera up because you guys can't really see everything that I'm doing here. There we go. Hopefully that's better. There we go. So we are going to, I cut 2 pieces because I want to use one for the base and I want to use one for the pockets. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for the base and just set that one aside. So the first thing you're going to want to do is, and you don't want to use like 20-pound paper. So this is I believe this is 49-pound paper. So it's like a happy medium between 20-pound and the normal 65-pound. She suggests that you use cardstock. I didn't feel like a heavier cardstock was necessary, but you do you. So the first score line we're going to do is going to be at 3.5 inches. So I'm going to just go ahead and put this in my scoreboard at 3.5. Again, I'm getting used to this scoreboard, so bear with me. The hardest thing for this with this tool is to remember to not cut and only score. And so then we're going to cut it at 7 as well. And that is going to give us 3 equal portions of 3.5 inches each. So there we go. I also learned the hard way that this is a powerful score tool. So one of them I did it more than once and it just sliced my paper up. So I'm just going to move that for a second. And then what we're going to do is you can go ahead and fold it like so. Why does it feel like that's wider? Because it is. What happened there? I must not have been exactly, oh, I didn't do that, did I? I didn't measure to 10.5. Before I scored, I should have cut off that little smidge, but I'm just going to go ahead and trim it with my scissors. Not a big deal. Hopefully not. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to do it. Just be careful not to cut open your flappy thing, your fold, as I struggle. There we go. So then you have this tri-fold deal. So then you're going to go ahead and turn it back over so that your whatever you want to be on the front is face up here, and you're going to take your ruler and measure on this. I'm gonna ink these really quick just so that we can see for the purpose of the camera. Okay. So of course, just like anything else, you do not have to ink. I'm doing it because it helps me be able to see everything. So we will do some more inking once we get some of our folds done. So what you want to do is you can start at the bottom or you can start at the top. I'm going to show you how to do it here. So you're going to go on this line that you scored and folded. I'm going to turn it this way because I need to be able to see this mark on the end. And I'm going to go and make a mark at 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to make a line because I can always erase that. So there we go. And but the point is actually going to be on the fold. So goodness gracious, guys. Sorry. And then you're going to do the same. So I'm just going to flip it over because so this is what we just did. We're going to come down here and do the same on this fold line, score line. And so we're going to go ahead again and measure 2.5 inches, making a line. And then what you're going to do is you're going to actually make a score line from this point to the corner. So I actually found the best success, as I tried this several times, to just make a light pencil line. because I'm going to ink that line anyway, so we're not going to see the pencil marks. And I will erase that big thing there. And then you're going to make another line from here to here, and then we're going to score that. So let me just do that really quick. She did a fantastic job of explaining this, you guys. I'm just following what I pulled from her tutorial. So I'm just going to erase that. And then we're going to do the same down here, except this time we're going to go from here down. So we're going to go from that point down to the corner to this fold line. Sorry, I'm not being very clear. So from this score line to this corner. Before you try it, I would watch her video or mine a time or two so that you can get the gist before you start, because I really had a hard time. My folds weren't working well, so I ended up doing several before I had what I would consider a success, which is okay. That's how we learn. There we go. So now you can see we've got score lines here. Pencil marks here and here, and those are going to be our scoring lines. So my struggle was I can't get this in the scoreboard, so at least the last I checked. Let me see if I changed up anything since I did this. So I don't think we can though, because this is just way too long. Oh, I guess if we go like that we can. Maybe. Nope, because see what happens there. Let's see if we can though. This will make life much easier. So basically what I'm doing is I'm lining, I want to see my pencil line in there, but I can't because, try that. Hopefully I'm not going to wreck this because I've already printed a ton of paper here. Yeah, we're just having trouble there. So I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm going to grab my little stylus. Where are you, stylus? I thought I brought it over here. There it is. And my ruler. And we're just going to do this again, the old-fashioned way. But because I don't get a good mark, I do end up doing it, going over it a few times. So I'm just going to make a score line from here to here. And I'm just going to go back and forth a few times. And let's see if that... See, I can't even... I can see it now, so I think that's good. So then we're going to do the same here. From, again, on that pencil line from point to point. And then we're going to do the same here on the bottom or top, respectively, whichever one you started with. You're just going to do that on both of those corners. And over here. Okay. So because I'm not using a scoreboard, it is challenging to fold this because I was really having to pay attention to my lines. Now, if you wanted to, again, you could erase these, but they're going to be covered up with ink. So then I want to go ahead and fold on that score line like this, and each of these folds is going to be opposite of each other. So I'm just folding all the way to that score line and just pinching that tight if I can get a hold of it. Pinching that tight right there at that corner, and then doing the same here. That was a sufficient score line, so that's actually going quite well. So then what you have here is this should line up. Let me get my whatever this thing is called. Oh, my bone folder. Goodness. It's Sunday. I'm off the clock. So that's what that looks like on that side. So we will ink that in a second. We're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to go opposite. So this one's going to fold up. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. And I don't know if you guys can see on camera, this is my score line right here. So you'll be able to tell once you start touching it that that's your score line. So I'm just going to give that a good crease. Got a little bit of a weak score line there. Hopefully it will stay intact. And then again on this side, there's a lot of turning, guys. So I apologize if I'm making you dizzy here. There we go. So again, watch it again if you need to. But I found that I had to do it. Like I was watching her and I was like, what the heck are you doing? I don't understand this. So there we go. So that is one. That's our first fold. And then the same is going to happen here, but this one's going to fold in like so. Let me just see if that's even up. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a press, and then we'll do the bone folder again. So you can straighten out some of those lines here at the final fold. But you know what I say, you know, perfection is not at play. Like we're learning, and we're learning something brand new. And so it is okay if it doesn't work out as smoothly. For some reason, we're crooked here. So I'm trying to pull that over and see what we got going on here. I'm not too concerned about that. You see, it's sticking out there for some reason a little bit more. That's probably just my score line. But I'm not going to fret about it. And I am going to go ahead and take a moment and ink all these folds, and I'll be right back. So the important thing here is that you want to make sure that these are going the opposite direction. So this one, you could do opposite. So this one could have been pointed out, or this is pointed up, this is out. I don't know. It's hard to explain. And then this one is going the opposite way. So it's going this way. I'm not going to ink up the inside because I don't really want to make all those lines stand out because it's a writing space. So I'm still trying to see if I can get that to get even. I don't know what the deal is here. It might have to do with I did not properly trim that down to 10.5. I'm not sure. So there we go. I am okay with imperfection. So that's what she should look like when you're done with the folds. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take another piece of the coordinating paper, and I'm going to glue it on the back of here just around these sides. Excuse me. And then I'm going to put a thumb notch in that paper. So let's do that step next. Hopefully I have enough of all of this paper. Actually, I think I might have another piece of this that I could use there from my experimenting. I do. So let's see if this will work. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to trim it down to the right height, or height here. It looks like it is already that height. Mostly. We can always trim it off the top if we need to. So then I'm going to move this down so I can see how wide it needs to be and just make a pencil mark. You could obviously measure if that's your jam, but it's not mine. And I'm just going to make a pencil line there. Sorry about the angle again. And I'm going to bring, unfortunately, the precision cutter is a lot more accurate for me, so I'm just going to bring the Big Mama in here, and we're going to trim that off. Right there. Okay, toss that over there. And then we can trim this bottom piece off in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and make a thumb notch and ink this up, and then we will glue this on 3 sides so that we have a pocket on the back. So I'm just going to speed this part up for you guys. Okay, there we go. So it's going to go like this, and as I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and cut that off in a second. I am going to ink this well, I can ink that after I get this glued on because I don't want to ink that whole edge necessarily. So we're going to go ahead and use our glitter glue, provided it cooperates with me today, which so far not so good. Let's see if we can make this work. So let's just make sure it's going to come out before we get going. Come on. There we go. So we're going to do, oh, actually, I guess I do need to cut it off because we need to glue that edge. So let me see if I can do that here really quickly. So I'm going to grab a paper clip just so that this doesn't move, because that would be my luck. And just get that all squared away so that it's in the right place that we want it to be. I hope that's making sense. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. Let me move this one up a little bit out of my way. It's tricky because we've got all these origami folds here, but I think we can manage it. And I'm being very careful to not cut that fold because that would be not what we want. There we go. Perfect. So now we can ink that edge up and glue this on. I might do another one on camera, without talking much, and just let you see the actual folds without my chatter. So we'll see how that goes. I might speed that up a little bit as well. So glue on this side, and this side. Well, I guess, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Nothing's really going to fall down in there. It's only going to go where it can go, whatever you put in that pocket. So just some art glitter glue. I'm loving these kits from my Porch prints, you guys. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. So beautiful. So there we have a pocket. So today we will be putting something in that pocket. I'm going to ink just that little bit there. So let's go ahead and work on, whoops, thought it was glued together. I just have some glue ooze down here. So that is okay. So then, as I mentioned, all of this is going to be writing space, which I think is epic. Now, obviously, if we've got pockets on here, a person would have to maybe take out the pocket stuff out of the pockets to be able to actually use the writing space, but I still think it's an epic idea for extra writing space if you like that for your journals. So the first thing we're going to do is cut a pocket for here, which is where I'm going to use this paper. So I kind of want it to be like that tall. So I'm going to go ahead and just, again, I'm not a measurer, so I'm just going to make a pencil line there and a pencil line here for the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and trim that up. Sorry about the big mama in the room here. My precision cutter is so big, but I love her. I love her so much. Always precise, which I guess is why she's called Precision. There we go. And then set that aside. We will be using more of that, and then we're going to cut off the bottom, and then we're going to cut an angle. So I'm thinking I want to kind of follow the angle that's already on the Miura fold, I think is what's called. That's what she called it. I'm not a big fan of this paper with this, but I think it's going to be okay once it's inked up. So if I went like this, I could get the same angle. That's what I'm kind of going after here. So I'm just going to put that under there so that I can go ahead and make an angle here. And see if I like that. Yeah. So I'm going to ink this up, trim this off and ink it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, there she is. Yeah, that helps. That ink always helps things to be more cohesive, I think. So we're going to glue this one on this side and this side to make our pocket. I automatically print all my digitals double-sided because I don't like the surprise of going and using something and realizing there's nothing on the back. I am going to start practicing doing some sprays and some other inking on the back of my digitals. Probably for this journal I'm going to start doing that when we start getting to the signature pages. But for now, I'm doing what I'm doing. So there we have a pocket. Perfect. Love it. So then we open it up. Still got some stickage here. We got some extra glue that's wanting to stick that. Okay, so now we have another opportunity for a pocket here. So let's go ahead and get another piece. And I'm trying to think about what kind of pocket I want here, because this is actually going to be like this. so we don't want it to go. I'm just going to make a mark so that we don't go. I can erase that in a second. I'm just going to make a mark inside of here, right there, so that I don't go beyond that barrier. So, but what did I do on the other one? Hold on, hold the fort. What did I do on this one? Yeah, so I made a corner pocket with that being the bottom measurement line, so that'll work perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and trim this widthwise first. So we want it to be about there. So I'm going to make another pencil mark there. And then I'm going to go from the top corner here, and I'm just going to make a line, and then we can get the cutter out and do that. So one moment. Let's put it the other way. More landscape here. Hope you guys can see this if you need to. Definitely go check out Amanda though. She is a hoot. She'll make you laugh. I tell you, she will make you laugh. She's so awesome. So then we've got this pocket that can go here. Is it going the same direction? It is going the same direction, so I'm going to ink this one up. Some people like to put a thumb notch in their corner pockets. I don't. I think it looks weird, so I'm not going to do that. And I am going to just, erase that pencil line, and just in case I don't cover it, go ahead and glue that down again on the two sides for a corner pocket, corner tuck. We're doing okay on time, so I think I will do another one. I already have the paper prepared, so oh, I didn't. I should have left that for a moment. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, I think it pretty much went to the top if I could remember correctly. So we'll just do that just to be safe. There we go. So, yep, perfecto. So there's, and I think it looks like patchworky. So I feel like I want one on here too. So again, this is going to be my, let's see, it's going to be the same measuring line as this side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut another piece. And we're going to just go ahead and, go up here. And make my pencil line for my width. And I'm going to move it over just a scooch and line it up with that existing pocket that I just glued down, and find my top mark. So that's going to be up here, and then we're going to go ahead and cut that pocket down. Now, one could go up a little ways so that you have a pocket like this. You've got that straight edge, but I didn't think about that before, and I don't think it's a huge deal. So we're just going to go with what we've got going on here. So I'm going to get that in my trimmer. Just give me a quick second. Okay. So that pocket's going to go, oh, that's not going to work. What was I thinking? That's not going to work. See, I didn't put one on the other one, so that's why I'm struggling, because I did not do that on the other one. So I think we will make a square pocket here. So pardon me for changing my mind. Oh, look at that. That's the perfect width. It's too tall though, so we're going to have to cut that down, because we don't want to impede any of this area here or this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line here where our other pocket is, and then we'll just put a thumb notch in that one and make it nice and obvious that it's a pocket. So be right back. Like so. Yep. Just erase that. We will be making a thumb notch, so I'll have to re-ink one of these edges here in a second. I'm not worried about precision here, so I'm just going to try to just guesstimate. A little ink. That's going to go in that one right there. I love that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so again, glue on 3 sides. This is a pocket, so sides and bottom. I know some of you know how to do that, but you know, in case there's anybody that's just starting out, I don't want to assume that people are able, or not able to do it, but when you're learning something new, it can be, all those little details can be tricky, so trying to be thorough here. So there we go. There's our other pocket. Love it, love it, love it. So that's what she does. And then let's make our belly band, and we'll stick some stuff in the pockets. Again, I will decorate this off camera, but I think I'm going to use this paper for my belly band. Hopefully it is big enough. I think it is because I tried it before. So I'm going to trim this down to about half of this width. Let's see what it is right now. It is 3 3/8 or so. So I'm not, the width of the belly band is not an important detail, so just make it whatever you want. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. And perfect. So we want to make sure that we allow for the expansion that's going to happen within this, because we've added all of these pockets. I will also do a cluster on the front here, but I will do that off camera. So I like to just put it on here and kind of start with one side. For some reason I'm all thumbs today. My apologies, guys. I'm just going to fold that there. Like that. And like that. And so here I'm going to make, in fact, I'm going to make a pencil line, so I make sure that I don't go that I leave plenty of room. So I'm going to go out about 1/8 of an inch or so and use that as my fold line. So I hope that's making sense for you. I hear the TV in the living room. My husband must have come in. He's been working outside doing burning. I hear some noise out there. Okay, let's ink this up. So if you want to see this process again, not the pockets, but just the folds, you can hang out and I will continue the video and show you that. So then basically all you're going to do is glue this, oops, back upside down. I'm just looking at this script here. I don't want that to be upside down. So I love paper that goes either way though. Like you can see there's writing going that way and writing going side to side. So see how I've got that much room there? That's a good amount just to allow for some expansion there. So I'm just going to put some glue on here. I'm not going to go too close to the edge because I don't want this to ooze out. And then just go ahead and put that in place. Okay, and there we go. There she is. So let's do one more just so you guys can see the folds. So which one do we want to use? I think I want to use this because I've already trimmed off the white. So I think I'll use the print though. So again, we are going to start with our score lines. Your paper, well, we're going to start by cutting this one down, aren't we? 10.5 inches wide. The height does not matter. We are going to trim this down to 8 inches as I did on the other one. So I'm going to bring my cutter in here really quick. And we're going to make sure, I got to open up the base here. And I could probably move this up so you guys can see better. I don't have a zoom on my webcam, so I have to manually move the camera. So I'm just basically cutting off about 1/4 of an inch is what the difference was. So like that. And then we're going to make sure she is the, well, let's just do it with the trimmer, Cara-Renee. So now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to make sure that it is only 10.5 inches wide. So I'm going to get that in there and get it on that line. And yeah, we've got a sliver to take off, about, looks like about 1/8 of an inch or so. So I'm going to, whoops, don't move while I'm trying to cut you. There we go. So that's the amount that I took off the end. And of course your paper might be different. So, and Amanda explained how if you know the basic construction and the basic folds, you can make this any size that you want. So it doesn't have to be this exact size. I have a hard time making those adjustments. Depends on what the project is. Sometimes I can figure it out pretty easily, and other times I cannot. So we're going to use the scoreboard here, scoreboard tool. And again, we're going to score at 3.5 inches, not 3. I did that by mistake on one of them that I was doing as I was trying to learn this. So I'm going to go 3.5 right there. Okay. And we're going to cut. We're not going to cut, we're going to score. And we're going to cut, we're going to score, goodness gracious. I'm going to go score again at 7 inches. Okay. Score, not cut. I'm going to move that out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and fold. I'm not going to ink anything up either, just because I want to save time, but do whatever helps this work for you in terms of ease of your other actions. I just personally struggle if I can't see a really defined line. So there's that. So now we can open her up. And this is lighter paper, so it's going to be a lot easier to see as well. So keep that in mind. So again, we're going to start by turning I turn it just because I need that perspective. And I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to mark at 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches. Oh, I just wrote all over my paper. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. My lead is having a fit. It's okay. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do the same over here. I'm just going to move it this way and line it up. Actually, I have to turn it because this isn't exactly, got this extra bit on the end that always throws me for a loop. So I'm just going to line that up to the bottom and make my other line here on my score line. That lead's going to come out, isn't it? There we go. Okay. So now we can go ahead, start with either one you want to. And I'm going to make a pencil line because that's the easiest for me. I cannot really see that, so I am going to make a little bit of inking right there just for ease of this step. And line that up to that mark. Well, you know what? At this point, because we're not going to use the scoreboard, let's go ahead and score here. Because we don't really need a pencil line because we're not putting it in the scoreboard. So I should have thought about that earlier. My apologies. So I am going over it several times. I don't know the trick to this. I know people do this. I don't know if you need a mat underneath, or maybe that's what I'm doing wrong, that I'm having to go back and forth so much, but I'll have to do some research on that. And again, from that same point, that score line down to the corner. Okay. I can see that score line really well, so we'll see how it pans out. I'm going to turn this all the way, but not to confuse you, you're doing your triangle here and your triangle here. So whichever place you start is up to you. But I have to turn it so that I can see it. And for some reason, I can see that score line just fine. I'm not sure what's wrong with my eyes, and I couldn't see the other one. It's okay. So, but if you want to make the pencil lines, go for it. Because again, in the end, I ink all this up. I like it inked up. So I'm going to turn my paper, and I'm going to do another score line, from the corner point of the paper to that pencil mark. Like so. Okay, so now we're ready for folding. So again, you're going to grab this, and whichever, I tend to want to go that way. It's just more, it just feels more natural. So I'm being very gentle because I don't want to get that fold wrong right out of the gate. So that's why I'm kind of being a little tentative. So I can see that now. I'm just going to crease it with my fingernails for now. And then I'm going to go hop over here and I'm going to do the same thing. And you're going to naturally feel that score line, even if it's not a super strong score line. You're going to be able to feel it, so don't worry about that. Okay, and then we're going to turn that, and oh, that's actually quite well lined up compared to our first one. So I'm going to score this, or not score it, burnish it really well, so that everything is nice and straight. So again, I'm not going to ink today on this one. I'm just going to erase that pencil line. And then we're going to do the bottom. So again, the bottom is opposite, so you're going to fold it this way. So I'm going to turn it over, and I can see my score line right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Probably not on camera. It's a little tricky. So, but you're just eye-spying that point that at the edge of the paper is really a great guide. And I'm just going to go down to that, pinch it really well, use my fingernails, and then do the same here on this side. And again, it's naturally going where I want it to go. So I can't imagine using a heavier cardstock like she did. I think she used cardstock. I don't know what her definition of cardstock is, if it's like 110 pound. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and burnish this as well. We can unfold that so that we can get a really good press here. Okay, there we go. So there we go. So those are your folds. I'm going to erase that pencil mark. That worked out better than the first one, so I hope that's helping you. So then when it folds, it's folding like so. And then you could do whatever you wanted. I actually didn't pay a lot of attention to how she glued hers down, because I knew I wanted to leave mine open for writing space. So again, I just leave this open so it can go like this, so that this space back here can be used for journaling. So, but you guys do what you want to do. I hope, and then again, we would do the belly band just like we did on the first one. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please, please, please hop on over to Amanda's channel. Give her a big thank you for being brilliant, and watch her video, because she is definitely more expert at this than I am. So, and she's just sweet as pie. So I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.